Good morning. I'm Silvana Muscella. I run an SME called Trust IT Services, and we lead the CloudScape event now in its 7th year. We're a small SME, so we rely heavily on our supporters. We're here in Brussels. We do it every year in Brussels because we like to have a lot of policy and influence makers. And in fact, we've had over 20 representatives from the European Commission here. And it's good because we've got the attention of the EC. They were the co-initiators of this event, which was supported under a framework programme project under FP7. So we became self-sufficient in 2010. I think this is a nice example of showing how an effort which was originally a support project can actually have life once it's over. And we started out with a consolidated scientific community, and we've now gone on to actually have a balanced mix from industry, SMEs, government, and the consolidated research community that are here. So we're very proud of that. Another thing that we've seen change over the years, and specifically for this year's event, is that 50% of the room are of the CloudScape family, we refer to them as, but actually 50% are newcomers. So we've come to the conclusion that we're doing something right, we're expanding the interest, and we try and reinvent the agenda every time. Now this year we've zoomed in on some topics which are very topical, particularly within the digital single market, and we've focused on sessions regarding cybersecurity, law enforcement access to data, SMEs, but particularly those SMEs who have benefited from using the cloud. We've also had some cloud brokers in and comparing cloud commodity to electricity or oil and gas. So this is obviously a new area that we're touching upon. And also we've had the privilege of having very good relations with our US colleagues from NIST, where we helped also in an EU effort on a roadmap for distributed computing standards, and we have them here over these 2 days as well. And there were discussions around SLAs and metrics and looking at what NIST are clearly doing too. So the general input I get from the people who are here, and we always sort of refer to them a bit as rock stars, because it's not Cloud Expo. There aren't 10,000 people here, and we never want to claim to be that. But it's such a boutique event of influencers and these rock stars, I call them, who manage to say yes to us every year to make this such a quality type event that people do walk away and say, oh, I didn't know that, and I've learnt something new. I think my biggest takeaway from this particular edition of CloudScape is, and with the Carbonac scams, which have just recently come out in the last 10 days, I think has to be in the cybersecurity sphere, and the fact that perhaps if financial institutions in particular maybe got and sat down together around a room, which we know this has happened, to discuss their data issues, if there was a collaborative EU28 platform where banks and other financial institutions could sit and discuss in a transparent way their internal IT systems and how some data could be shared, where the Carbonac could have been avoided. And I think this is something that should be put on the table from a policy level going forward. Another good takeaway would probably be the hybrid model that we heard from quite a few of our keynotes, in particular Joe Weinman, and considering that this is probably an area where most savings are made. And I think this was something that probably was unheard of maybe in the past, and this is clearly taking on a much more daily interjection in all companies.